Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 31 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, today's episode is going to be against Hellas Verona, and as you can see by the league table, we'll go into it in a bit more depth here. We are still currently top of the league. However, the gap has closed to 2 points. Bologna are within 2 points of us. Our form recently has been pretty bad. We haven't been losing a lot of games, but we have drawn a lot of games, as you can see. Which is really disappointing, because we did have... Well, at one point, we had an 8-point gap before the previous episode. That has unfortunately gone down to 2 points. Palermo could be within 4 points if they win their game in hand. So, the pressure's on. The pressure is definitely on. We've started quite a bit recently. We'll go into the fixtures, of course. The previous episode was the loss to Roma in the TIM Cup quarterfinals. Such a disappointing loss. Honestly, the fact that they had a player sent off going into the end of the game there, I didn't even really notice it at the time. But the fact that had happened, and then they score in the 7th minute of stoppage time. I mean, go back and watch the episode if you haven't watched it. To say that I was devastated is an understatement. Anyways, the team did bounce back in the next game. We managed to beat Benevento Calcio 7-2. 7 goals scored, 7 different goal scorers as well, which was pretty decent. As you can see, Boscini opened the scoring in the first minute. We then had Cali, Ambro, Tessetto, Boudin, Mayembo, and Scarby all on the score sheet. We disappointingly did concede 2 goals, though, which is, I don't know, it was a bit random. They scored both of their goals in the first half, and one of them was an own goal from Mendes. We followed that up with a 1-0 victory over Pescara Calcio. Scarby with the only goal in the game. Toscano also got sent off with a straight red card. Oh, sorry, 2 yellow cards, I'm mistaken. And then the bad run of form started. Starting off with a 2-2 draw to US Lecce, who were coming 17th at the time. Saki and Ambro with the 2 goals for us. And as you can see, we were behind on both occasions when they scored their goals. So getting the draw was sort of a lucky result for us. The next game was, again, another 2-2 draw. This one away from home against Pordenone. Now, Pordenone beat us earlier in the season, I believe. I'm pretty sure, yeah, as you can see, they beat us 4-2, and Izzo got a hat-trick in that game. And guess what? He managed to score a goal in this game too. As you can see, he opened the scoring in the 55th minute. We then got one back through Chester in the 75th, and then they got a second a minute later in the 76th. I actually thought we were going to lose, because we weren't really playing too well. And then Boudin popped up in the 81st minute. Got us the equaliser. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really poor game overall. The next game was against Bologna. So this was the big, massive game. I contemplated doing it for the episode, but I thought that there really hadn't been a lot of time between the Napoli episode, the Roma episode, and doing the Bologna would be, it'd be quite soon, I think. Anyways, this game finished 1-1 at home. Boudin opened the scoring for us in the 30th minute. They then got a penalty, and Sarr put it away in the 32nd minute. Ultimately, it was a pretty good draw because, of course, it meant at that stage that they couldn't, overtake us. Well, they couldn't get 3 points when we got 9. So I saw it as a bit of a decent result. However, the next game was another 2-2 draw away from home against Virtus and Tella. As you can see, Toscano opened the scoring. They got one back. Tessetto put us in front, and I thought we were going to hold on for the win. But 3 minutes later, I've actually got to show you this goal, because if you thought I raged in the previous episode when they scored in the 97th, when Roma scored, you can't even imagine the type of reaction I had to this goal. Just watch. Ingvarsson, it's fine. Okay, he's come really far out of his box. Mayembo gives the ball away. and they slot it home. 3 minutes after we took the lead as well. Yeah. I think, my desk got a pretty hard bang after that. And the most recent game I played against 17th placed Catania. A 1-0 loss at home. Toscano again with a red card. This one was the straight red card. And they scored the winning goal in the 90th minute. So infuriating. Honestly, I think it was like their first shot on target. I'll show you the match stats. Yes, it was their first shot on target. We had 7, could not score. All 5 members of their defense had a rating over 7.2. Absolute bullshit. Football Manager at its finest, screwing me over once again. Anyways, it does leave us today with Verona, which is going to be a tough game. They're in 16th as well, fighting for relegation or fighting against relegation. But we need to get out of this slump in form because, I want to win Serie B. I don't think it's just so frustrating that this form dip has come after the Roma game. Well, we essentially won 2 games after then, but then, we've suffered this slump. And partly it has been due to injuries. We'll go over the lineup here, and I'll sort of show you what's happened. Albeit you probably know what had happened in the previous episode if you watched it. Ingoglia, him being out, Miembo, of course, at fault for the goal, or for an equaliser 2 games ago. We're definitely missing Ingoglia and Meneghini as well. They're both just starting to come back. Meneghini, I thought was going to be fit for today, but it doesn't look like he is properly. Diodario, he's just been pretty dreadful, to be honest. Just not solid enough. 7.03, and that's a bit of a lie, to be honest, because he's been in some of the games that he's been included in, and we've won 7-2, for example. He obviously gets a much higher rating, which brings his overall average up, whereas, it would be pretty dreadful without those types of results. Anyways, another thing to mention, Ingvarsson did pick up a slight knock recently, so he's not really properly fit for this game, but we're going to play with him anyway, just because he's a lot better than Pavoni. So yeah, he'll start in goals today. We're going to go, unfortunately, with Diodario at right back. Scarbi and Miembo will be the 2 centre backs. Mendes as our left back. Pellini will start as our defensive midfielder today. Of course, Toscano out with a red card, straight red. Really disappointing stuff. Then in the midfield, we're going to go Boscini on the right wing, Forte on the left wing, and then, of course, Saki and Ambro will be the 2 centre mids today. Up front, we're going to go with Boudin. The bench today is going to be Pavoni, Trinotti. I assume he'll be able to go on the bench, despite his knock as well. Then Belfasti, Tessetto, Gianchecchi, Chester, Nicoli, Mercy, Manafo, Cali, Barossi, and Zortia. Like I said, it's been 5 games without a win, and the fact that we're still top is, I don't know, I feel like it's very, very lucky, and yeah, I don't really know. I'm going to tell the boys I expect the win, to try and end this poor run of form. And hopefully we can do that here today. Verona, I honestly rate Verona as a club pretty well, but they do find themselves in a relegation battle this season. That was a bit of a weird highlight there, to be honest. I'm not really too sure why that was a highlight, unless Miembo gives the ball away here and we concede. Anyway, we are moving the ball forward. We are in possession. Mendes plays a long ball out wide to Boscini. Can he cross it in? Yes, he can. It's headed away, though. Forte will get on the end. Saki, 1-0. Perfect start. Thank you, boys. I needed this start. We've been starting really sluggishly and really slowly in the last 5 games. Quite often we've actually gone behind, which, isn't really something we've seen much of this season. And I thought they were about to get an equaliser there. That was a pretty good chance for them, to be honest. And they are playing with two strikers. They're playing a bit of a 3-1-4-2 formation. 3 centre-backs and then a defensive midfielder in front. It's kind of an attacking tactic, to be honest, which is quite odd. And I do apologise if you can hear birds in the background. It's just that time of day in Australia where all the cockatoos and stuff get outside and like to cause a lot of ruckus and a lot of noise. Anyways, that is half-time there. We do go into the break with the 1-0 lead, which I'm pretty happy with. However, we need to hold on. I would definitely like to push for a second, although Verona look the more dangerous of the two sides at the moment. And they've actually had more shots and more shots on target than us as well, which is definitely a bit of a worrying sign. Although Boudin could be in, no. I thought he doesn't really have the pace. Well, I mean, technically he does, but he just looked way outpaced than Forte, who's been quiet recently, which is probably due to probably aids to our dip in form. Mendes to Saki. Mendes again. Plays a nice little ball over. Diodario doesn't manage to lose possession. Bashini, Ambro. Beautiful, beautiful goal. Really happy with that one. And we get the second goal, which is really important, especially after half-time, which I'm very happy with. And there are a few players that are playing pretty well today, which is nice to see after what's happened recently. Good defense there, boys. Well done. I feel like I don't credit the defense enough when they do something right. What was Bashini doing there? He actually headed the ball to their player. It was easy. Oh my god. I mean, I don't know. I credit the defense, and then they come up with a silly error like that. And it's back to 2-1. Honestly, like sometimes, like Miembo, he's on a 6.5. I feel like taking him off and just playing with someone else, like Trainotti, for example. He's not as good, but, you know, he might do a bit of a better job because Miembo has been pretty dreadful since that injury to Ingoglia. One thing we are going to do is 100% we're taking Boudin off. I don't know what it is, but these two Loanese strikers are just... on paper, they're really good, but they just can't score goals. I don't know what it is, but they just can't find the back of the net, either of them. Of course, Boudin did score... Did he score last episode against Roma? I think he did. But since then, neither of them have scored, and honestly, it's been like that all season, which has been really, really frustrating. Bashini to Ambro. Come on, boys. Can we get a third goal here? Pellini. Saki. Mendes. Forte. We're keeping the ball pretty well. Forte. Can we go inside? Mendes. Still playing around with it. Diodario. Bashini. Shoots and hits the post. Okay, well, that's not great. Nicoli with a free kick. Just wide. Again, that guy hasn't scored in like God knows how long, to be honest. Diodario's just picked up a yellow card there as well, so we're going to tell him to ease off the tackles. This is nervous. This is nervous times. Mendes with the throw-in to Ambro. Saki. Ooh, the deflection there. Luckily, fell in our favour. Saki with the goal. However, it did take a very big deflection off their defender. We do get the third goal, so looks like a 3-1 victory, although late goals are a thing, and they definitely are against us. However, we are coming forward with another attack here. It's cleared away. Bashini will get back onto it. Diodario, Bashini. Pellini now to Ambro. Holding the ball nicely. Bring it back into the centre. Mendes, Forte. I mean, he was going for the screamer there. They pump the ball long, and that... Ooh, is that a red... Yep. Oh, it's a red card to Diodario. Of course it is. I mean... Full credit to him. It might have been a goal. And what I will do is I will actually... We'll take Bashini off and we'll bring Zortia onto the field. Just in case, you know. I don't want to play 3 at the back after that red card. And Zortia, well, if Menegini doesn't get back to fitness, he might have to play the next game because Diodario will miss out. But there we go, guys. Finally, we turn the poor run of form around. 3-1 victory over Verona. Very happy with that. I mean, it could have gone pretty badly. However, the team, you know, they've responded. They've responded to the recent run of adversity, you know, amongst them. Except for Diodario, he's still trash. I kind of want to fine him, but there's not really any point upsetting him because he's not even on that much in terms of wages. So fining him wouldn't even really do anything in terms of our finances for the club. Now, there is one other thing before the episode is finished here. I did actually get a message for a Tycoon takeover. Now, since then, I have had another message that said that it would be a consortium of investors. So it changed within the space of about 2 weeks. But the first one that I got did say Tycoon Eyes taking over San Marino. And then, of course, the second one was the consortium of investors, including former footballers. So, not too sure what's going to happen. The chairman did also send me a message saying he wants to step down. So, hopefully, we might get a takeover. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter if it's Tycoon or not. Obviously, I would love a Tycoon. That would be incredible and would definitely speed up the progress of the series. But honestly, if I got a Tycoon, I feel like it would sort of ruin us going forward. And I want to build this club. You know, we are essentially building it from the ground up in terms of the recent success and whatnot. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like, subscribe as well if you haven't already. And apart from that, take it easy.